Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will cover Unit 8 of the course M256 Software Development with Java. The unit is titled Designs in Action. We will continue actually with what we have covered in Units 6 and 7, and we go back to do the same procedure of building our dynamic models. But today we will learn new concepts and put our design work that we have covered in Units 6 and 7 in action. So the unit aims, first we give you more practice at developing walkthroughs and sequence diagrams, applying the ideas learned in the early units, particularly Units 6 and 7. Then we need to develop your design skills to deal with removing objects and links, allow you to experiment with code that demonstrate designs for use cases in action and working scenarios. To implement this, we will have a look at the system domain of the DVD library that we have used earlier in Unit 3. This is the sequence, this is the system domain that you are familiar with. These are the use cases that we have covered also earlier. You are familiar with that. We have used this system domain and use cases to identify the classes and build the conceptual diagram for this particular system. The class diagram built earlier also is given here. We see the classes and the relation between the classes. We see the multiplicities between the classes. Also, the description of the classes are given here. Each class has its name and its attributes and description for its names and its attributes. And also, as the last part of the initial structure model, we have the invariants applied onto these objects of this DVD library system. Now we will discuss the concept of returning information. Of course, now to be able to follow the same design approach that we are using in the last two units and we are going to use today, we need to create a new object to represent the coordinating object for the system. In this case, this object is called library coord object. Now we go through the same approach, and this approach is summarized here. What we do, we choose the objects for a typical scenario and illustrate with the objects diagram or diagrams if we need more than one diagram. And now we draw the sequence diagram showing just the communication between the user interface and the coordinating objects only first. And then according to this sequence diagram, we decide about what are the specifications of the coordinating method. After that, we will continue the walkthrough and devise it to complete the sequence diagram showing the coordination and the interaction between the coordinating object and the core system objects. Now this is the use case we are going to use from the DVD library system. It's called list films. This list films use case is described as the staff member identifies the member. The system displays the list of films, titles, and return dates of DVDs that the member has on loan. That's simple. Now, so we go with the first step, choosing the objects. We choose the object member, loan, DVD, and film, and this is one good scenario for that use case. Now we go to the step 2, draw the sequence diagram between only the user interface and the coordinating object, in this case called library. So we design the coordinating method called getLoans and films that take member 6 as parameter. So we want to design this interface and we want the coordinating object to give us couples of loans and films of those loans for member 6 element or member 6 object. Now specify the coordinating method. This is the coordinating method. It is called getLoan and films. It takes member as a parameter and returns us a map that includes a loan and the film of that loan. The walkthrough will be built in details here. We are given the member and the member 6. Then we will retrieve the information about member 6 in the system of DVD library. Here is the implementation of the walkthrough as a sequence diagram. You find that we have three classes or 3 objects of classes, which is user interface object, library object, and the member6 object. We have new protocols introduced: get loan and films that take a member as a parameter, and get loan and films that doesn't take any parameter, which is a method in the class member. And of course, member6 has to communicate its loans and its films to be able to get us this information. This will be shown in the following complete sequence diagram. You see that member6 is talking to its loans, and the loans are talking to their DVDs to be able to collect information about loans and DVDs that will be returned in step 6 for the user interface. Now, this sequence diagram, building it and completing it, will introduce more methods, including the coordinating method and the method within the core system, and also will introduce more links. Okay, so the protocols introduced in member class are given here, and so as the link. More protocols, more links will be introduced in class loan and class DVD. Now we will come to the design in action. In this unit, we go further and provide Java projects working scenarios which will implement the design devised in the use cases. These projects are designed to enable you to try out design for the use case based on the scenario used in the design. For example, we will implement and involve real objects corresponding to each of the examples objects given. As example, we will start with removing links. Now, we have situations where objects are linked to each other and classes are linked to each other. For example, if an association is navigated in one direction only, say from class P to class Q, then what's the situation? The situation is that a P object will contain a reference to the link Q object. Now, how can we remove this link? To remove this link, all we need is just to remove the reference. But if the navigation is in both directions, okay, then the object at each end will hold a reference to the other object. So P will have a reference to Q, and Q will have a reference to P. To remove the link, both these references will need to be removed. Now we need to make one of these references, one of these objects responsible for the removal of the two-way link. What it will do, it will remove the reference to the other object, and it will ask at the same time the other object to remove the to itself. Now consider the situation, and we'll have a look at the case where we remove one-way link and the case where we remove two-way links. In this example, you see that the form, which is part of a school system, is related or associated to the class pupil. So in this, you find that there is a navigation from form to pupil, and in that case, we have only one-way link. The class form has a reference of the class pupil where the opposite is not there. So if I want to remove the link between these objects, I just need to send the message from school object to the form object. School object in this case will be the coordinating object. And then since we have form 5 can remove its reference to bubble 3, this will remove the one-way link. That's all. Form 5 is having the reference, it can remove it, and now there will be no reference to bubble 13 anymore, because the control is all in form 5 that has the reference. In this class diagram, we find different thing here. We find that the navigation is in both sides. We find the navigation at the pupil side and at the pupil side and at the form side. In that case, removing the reference from the form class or form object will not be enough. they will still the link on the other direction in pupil 3. So what we need another message, okay, to remove the reference in form 5 for pupil 3 and the other way around. Now another use case to go on with removing objects links and links. We will go back to the DVD library and consider the return DVD use case, because we have loans now for DVDs in our system, and anytime a person return a DVD, then we have to remove the loan for these DVDs returned. So it says the staff member identifies the DVD. The system records the fact that this copy of the film is now available for loan, and that is no longer on loan to the member who returned it. Now we choose the objects in the typical scenario, and this is shown in this figure. We see the scenario before returning the DVD, where we have loan 10 as an object existing between the DVD 6 and member 11. Now, when the DVD is returned, that loan should be destructed and it will disappear, and there will be no relation between member 11 and DVD 6 because he already returned it. Of course, we have to consider situations like, or cases like this will need to have a preconditions, something like the DVD should be borrowed before it be returned. I cannot return a DVD that I didn't borrow before. In case that I have passed the or exceed the return date for the loan, there must be a punishment, okay, or a charging and so on. So we have to take these situations in account. Now this is the interaction between the coordinating object and the user interface. Simply the return DVD method as a coordinating method will be called upon the library object, okay, and then after that we will decide about the design or the design of the signature of the coordinating object. What is its precondition? As we said, the precondition, there must be a link between the loan and the DVD, means there must be a DVD on loan. And the post condition, that loan will be removed and there will be no link anymore between the DVD and the member. If we just go to the complete sequence diagram, you will find that after the interface is asking the library to return the DVD 6, then the loan would be cancelled for DVD 6. Now DVD 6 will find out where what is the loan she is in or it is in, and it will destruct it. Okay, as you can find, this X means that this particular object is destructed. Okay, and now member 11 has no loan such as loan 10 in its list, because that loan was destructed by returning the DVD. Now film 4, which is the film recorded in DVD 6, will have one new copy available, means the number of available copies of film 4 will be increased by 1, because this DVD 6 that record film 4 or that contains film 4 is returned to the system. As usual, what we do after every dynamic scenario designed, dynamic model designed for a use case, what we do, we update and amend our structure model. In this case, we find that class member is having a protocol called remove loan that takes loan as a parameter and doesn't return any data type. It will have the post condition, the reference to the loan is removed. Now loan class also will have a method called remove loan with the precondition, the reference to the receiver held by the member object linked to the receiver is removed. Again, film class will also has a new protocol added, which is increment number of available units. That will increase the number of available units by 1. DVD class also has also a new protocol added and amended. It's called cancel loan, which will cancel all the references to that particular loan and make the new DVD available for renting. Just the opposite of returning a DVD, we have borrow a DVD use case. This borrow DVD use case will create objects instead of removing objects. It says the staff member identifies the DVD and the member who is borrowing it. So what DVD we are trying to lend, and who is borrowing it as a member. When we decide about these and identify these, the system records the fact that this copy of the film is no longer available for loan. So it is reserved for that particular member that's on loan to the member identified, and the date on which it was borrowed. So it will decide who will take the DVD and the date of giving that DVD to the member. So we go through the same approach of our dynamic system design or dynamic model design, where we first choose the scenario before borrowing the DVD by member 11, and you didn't see any link between member 11 and the DVD, where the lower object diagram shows us the object diagram when the DVD is borrowed and there is a loan created as a result of this. Again, we go through the same procedure. We draw the sequence diagram that shows the interaction between the user interface and the coordinating object. Then we specify the coordinating objects, okay, to decide what it will be the name of the coordinating object, what is the parameters that's taken. The name will be borrow DVD. It will take a DVD and a member as parameters. It doesn't return any data type, but it has a precondition. A DVD is not linked to a loan, because if the DVD is linked to a loan, it cannot be given to a different member only after returning that DVD and destructing the loan. Now, this is the precondition. The post condition will be a new loan object is created, and the issue date and retain date will also be decided and registered. We repeat the same thing as we did when we created the new objects. In this case, and in the library, DVD library, we are not creating a patient, of course. We are creating a new loan, and we will do it the same way. So this is a new loan is created, loan 10, with the parameters DVD6 and member 11. So it will link member 11 to the DVD. He is borrowing DVD6 with the loan 10. So the same as we created a new object of type patient in the hospital system, we are creating a new object of type loan in the DVD library system. Now the full sequence diagram will be built, and as you can see, the user interface sends the coordinating method and the coordinating message to the library coordinating object, which is library in this case, with the DVD6 and member 11 as parameters. Now a new loan will be created using these parameters. Now DVD6 sit on loan, so nobody can borrow DVD6 anymore because it's already borrowed by member 11. And then we will inform film for that the number of CDs for this particular film will be decreased and decremented by 1, and at the end to confirm to member 11 that the DVD is borrowed to him, and we will inform member 11 of the due date for returning that DVD to the library system. Again, after we complete the dynamic system design, new protocols and new links are introduced and built, and we need to amend the structure model for the DVD library system by adding the new protocols and the new links. In here we have a DVD class having a new protocol called setLoan that takes loan as a parameter. Member class has addLoan that takes loan as a parameter. The film class is also having a new protocol called decrement number available. In loan we have the loan constructor actually, which is a special type of class that creates object of type loan, and that loan will have to use the DVD and member as parameters. In this particular protocol, we need to be sure that we make it clear what is the precondition and the postcondition, if any, for that structure. This is the last slide in Unit 8. As you noticed, the unit is short because we are repeating many of the things that we have done in Unit 6 and also in Unit 7. So few new concepts is added, few new ideas are added in Unit 8, but the core thing is the same as the information and the skills and design approach that we have used in Units 6 and 7. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.